Hello, my dear children. Let's continue with your social class. In the previous class, we have done up till the first para of the topic called Industrial Revolution, right? That's page number 128. Today, let us see. There is one more para under this topic. So, let us finish this topic today and also some more other topics as well. All right, let's continue with the Industrial Revolution. Second paragraph, page 128, right inside. England was the first European country where the Industrial Revolution started. Underline that. The first European country. Subsequently, it spread throughout Europe, North America, and the rest of the world. As a result of the Industrial Revolution, England's industrial production increased manifold within a very short span of time. Generally, a competition began among the European powers, including England, France, and others, to explore those regions beyond their own frontiers that would serve as markets for their product and also ensure a regular supply of raw materials to support their domestic industries. This marked the beginning of the age of colonization. Okay. So basically, the first what do you call industrial revolution took place in England, which is in Europe. Europe being a continent. Now, after that, later on, from England, it started spreading to the other parts of the world. Like you can say, even from Europe, it went to North America, and then the rest of the world, the various different continents. Likewise, it also came to India as well. Now, when this industrial revolution, all right, it started growing, it started developing in the European countries. Okay, now this European countries among themselves, they became a rivalry of one another. You can say a competitor of one another, right? So why did they become a rivalry? Why did they become a competitor of one another? Because now, along with the industrial revolution, the production started increasing. So when the production started increasing, whatever production it was, okay, the goods. Now those goods has to be sold somewhere, right? They need a proper market where their goods can be sold. Now, as a result, now for example, say North Guwahati, okay, North Guwahati is one such area where say what do you call England once say the famous place what the this spot out here College Chalk, okay. So College Chalk is a one such market where England wants that they want to sell only their product in College Chalk so that no other countries are allowed to come and sell. Why? Because College Chalk has, for example, College Chalk has lots of consumers, okay, people who buy products. Now England wants that only their products to be sold in that area, other must not be able to come. Likewise, even France also want College Chalk. Now England wants College Chalk, France wants College Chalk. Now there are some other countries as well, those who want that particular spot, as because there are lots of consumer. They know that their product can be easily sold in that area. So as a result, a rivalry started among them. Competing, they started competing with one another. So it was a kind of they became enemy of each other. That's what you can say. There was a conflict between them. That was one reason that they wanted their products to be sold in a particular market. Another reason was that they also wanted areas, okay, places from where they can get the raw materials for their production, okay. They would, so as a result, they went on beyond their borders, beyond their territory. They went on, to the other countries, to the other areas, looking for two things. Firstly, their market where they can sell their product. Secondly, from where they can get their raw materials, so that those raw materials they can collect from that particular place, take it back to their country for the process of production. They can, use those raw materials for production and then come back and sell it. So that was the reason. Now, because of this reason, what happened? The colonization started. Colonization means, now for example, say I'm a Britisher, all right. I'm a Britisher, and there's a particular area which doesn't belong to me. So what will I do? I will go. It's not only about British. Even French colonies were there. British colonies were there. So whatever it is. Now, supposing I went and captured an area which is not mine. I went and captured, conquered, and I started ruling that area. That area, I took over the control of that area, even though that does not belong to me. That is not within my boundary. That is not within my territory. It lies outside my boundary, outside my territory, somewhere else. But I went and captured it, and I started ruling. I started controlling. That's that. Now, what will I say? That's my colony. That even though that is not a part of my country, it doesn't fall under my territory, but that's my colony. That's called colonization. Okay. Yeah, colonization in detail is given just the next topic. Let's see. I didn't see that. I was just explaining. All right. Colonization signifies the subjugation of a country by a more powerful country. Hmm? The same thing that I told you now. It accounts for many political, economic, social, and cultural changes in the country that is ruled. This country is called a colony, while the country that rules is called the imperialist country. Imperialist, kind of, you can say, m- uh, not exactly king, but empire. Okay, empire similar to king, monarch. Okay, so supposingly I am the boss of this particular area. So what area is this? Say Rajadua. Okay, this area is under mine, but however, even if Kolachok is not under mine, but what will I do? I will go and capture it, so that will become colony under me, a colony of Rajadua. All right. Now, as I control it, as I take over it, as I capture it, what will happen? The rules, the policies, the society of that particular area, the culture, the tradition. I will try to change everything as per my own, wish and desire, and what is applicable, what I think it's good, what I think it's being implemented here in this area. I'll try to implement the same thing there as well. But when I'll try to implement the same thing there, I will make sure that that is for my benefit and not for the benefit of that particular people. Why? Because that does not belong to me. I just captured it. So whatever out there is there in that particular area, I'll try to take all the resources, be it wealth or natural resources, whatever. Okay, I'll drain all of those things, and I will try to shift those things from there to here. That is my base location, my own place. All right. Next, the fundamental goal of the imperialist country is to exploit the economy of its colony and derive the maximum benefit out of it. The one which I told you will drain out all the resources, whatever is there. Okay, exploit. Exploitation in simple language, if I explain you, yeah, making use of someone or something for your own personal benefit, you can say that, no? For your selfish interest. Exploiting. Now, for example, if I'm exploiting this pencil, means I'm making use of this pencil in such a manner without even bothering about the pencil, that the pencil will get hurt or it will get the size, the length will get reduced. No, I just have one intention, that my purpose should be served. Even if I have to keep on sharpening and kill the pencil, finish off the pencil, that doesn't matter. My self interest, my personal interest must be served. That's all. I'm exploiting the pencil. So I hope you got the meaning of exploitation. So as I told you, that the main goal, the fundamental goal, the main goal, basic goal of these countries who colonize the other areas, their main goal was to exploit, to make use of the economy, mainly economy of its colony, and derive the maximum benefit out of it, whatever benefit they could get from it. Colonization leads to poverty in the colony and brings prosperity for the imperialist country, where domestic industries grow and the raw materials and resources drained out of the colony. Same word. Because of colonization, again, same example, I'll continue with the same example so that you understand. As I say that I captured this part, Kolachok. Now, what will happen? I will not bother about Kolachok, whether out there the people are, living in a good health or not, or are they surviving, are they having any issues, what about the society out there, what about the economic condition of the people out there. I won't bother at all. My whole, intention would be that take their all things, bring it in my place, in my own location, this area where I stay. Yeah, suppose that this is my country, and I'll try to develop here from there. So ultimately, what will happen? The people of that area, or you can say, the society of that area, everybody will go into poverty. Why? Because I will take away everything. I will squeeze everything and I will bring it out here. That's all. So ultimately, they will go into poverty, and my area, my country, my location, it will go into prosperity. It will be developing. All right, it will be growing, flourishing. Now comes the interesting topics. All those topics are very interesting. This chapter, colonization of India. How did India become a colony? Right? Today we are an independent nation, a country. But how did we become a colony? Let's see. Let's start. In 1600, a group of English traders, businessmen, merchant businessmen, founded the English East India Company, EEIC. Underline that. These are all objective questions. Where? In London. And we have read in class 7 how Thomas Roe, the envoy of King James I, secured from the Mughal Emperor Jahangir certain trading rights for the merchants of the EIC. Underline this, even though you have read or not in the previous class. Thomas Roe, underline from Thomas Roe. No need to underline, we have read in class 7, not required. Thomas Roe, the envoy of King James I, secured from the Mughal Emperor Jahangir certain trading rights for the merchants of the EIC. Actually, my dear children, like this fellow, this particular ruler, this is what you call Jahangir. I feel that not only I feel, it's mentioned in the book. It was he, okay. It was this particular emperor, this particular Mughal ruler, who was the one to open the door for first for the Britishers that come establish your control out here, capture us, rule us, and after that the rest is history. We all know what happened. You just google it out. You just see there are so many books, documentary movies about history. Instead of passing your time in all those virtual games and all, just wasting your time, watch these history movies, documentary movies. You can learn a lot about it. All right, coming back. So it was Jahangir, but the question is, how did uh, this Britishers, or you can say the East India Company, got the permission of entering into our country? There was a person called Thomas Roe. He was the envoy of King James I then, during those days, okay, in the 1600, and he was the one who came and got the approval, got the permission, took the permission from the Mughal emperor, okay, for the trading rights. So actually, these people, they came to our country for business purpose, for trading rights, all right, and that he came and took the trading rights for his what do you call, for this particular company, that is East India Company, okay, for some of the businessmen of East India Company. And then what happened? Let's see. About a century later, century, what is 100 years? Cricket century. He scored a century, 1 century, 200 years, 200, 1 century, 100, two century, 200. So about a century later, about 100 years later, ooh, what name is this man? Farooqi. This name's proper nouns, huh? Farooqi. Let's see. About a century later, about 100 years later, Farooqi, a later Mughal ruler, granted important trading rights to English merchants through a royal firman. Another Mughal ruler. Hmm. Ultimately, what are we doing? Putting an axe on our own feet. Hmm? So, at first, it was Jahangir, and then it continued again. This fellow, Farooqi, granted important trading rights, much more important business rights to this English merchant through a royal firman. It's royal firman is basically a kind of, see, royal, huh? Royal something which is very much belonging to this, what do you call it? It's very royal and king. Okay, in simple language, king. You can say that. Order which came firman, order, a decree which came from the royal palace, from the king, from the emperor, royal firman. So he granted. He, who is he? Farooqi. Later on, and then it went on. Okay, they just gave the main key points. Otherwise, in between, I see there are some more things which is not mentioned here. Anyways, you'll find it in your higher classes. Let's see what is being mentioned here. Following its victory in the Battle of Plassey in 1757, the EIC became the dominant political power in the Indian subcontinent, and gradually, most of the Indian subcontinent became part of a British colony. All right. Now, there was a battle called Battle of Plassey in the 1757. But why this Battle of Plassey took place? Uh, Between whom? What was the reason? It's not being mentioned out here. I hope you have read in your earlier classes, and if not, please try to find it out. You'll find it's very interesting. So, there was a battle held in the year 1757, which was called the Battle of Plassey, and in this Battle of Plassey, the EIC, that is English East India Company, they won the battle. Okay, and as they won the battle, they started dominating the Indian subcontinent. Okay, politically, in terms of governing, in terms of rules and regulation, they started making. It happens, right, at times when between siblings, between friends, yeah, between brothers, sisters, or brothers or friends in the class, at times when you quarrel, you're right, the one who wins in that particular quarrel, it seems like you act to be, yes, I am above you, I'm superior. The children mentality, child's mentality, they have this sort of thing. So same thing happened out here. Since this EIC, they won that particular battle, now they started dominating, they started implementing their rules, policies, they started governing the Indian subcontinent. And as a result, most of the Indian areas, okay, the Indian parts, they became uh, a part of British colony after this particular battle. This was a turning point. The first turning point was this Jahangir allowing them for this, come, yes, come do business. Next, under 100 years, after 100 years, another fellow, who is this Farooqi, giving a royal firman, yes, come, do business. Huh? And now, battle. Thus, The company that came to India as a trading organization became the master of Indian subcontinent. So this is how a company which came to India with the purpose of business to now started controlling, making policies, governing, ruling. Okay, it's one way like they became our boss. You can say that. But you remember for what purpose did they come, and what was the reason they told to Jahangir that can we just what do you call trading purpose? Yeah, they took the permission only for trading purpose, this Thomas Rowe. But now they started what? They started not only trading, they became the master of this, what do you call, Indian subcontinent, master, boss. Then we all know after what happened. India became a colony of the British who ruled the country till 1947, and then we got independence, right? When? 15th August, correct? 1947. And we will read about this, it's as mentioned in the text, we will read about this in more detail later in this book. All right, that means there are some more chapters which will give you, which will give you a proper picture, a detailed information about this colonization of India, the process of freedom and all. But for now, for time being, you just know this much, that is 1600 EIC came, Thomas Rowe took permission from Jahangir for trading purpose, Farooq Ishar gave a much more important trading rights, permissions, okay, to this EIC. 1757, Battle of Plassey, EIC won. As they won, they started dominating, controlling, overpowering, making rules, policies, and conquering more and more parts of our country. And as a result, this EIC became master of our country, master of our Indian subcontinent, right? Next, the major changes. What are the major changes? There are various major changes which took place in our country during this colonial period. Geographical changes, political changes. The two major changes. No, no, even economic changes are there. Economic changes, cultural changes, social changes. Any more? No. These are the changes that are mentioned in your text. Let's see one after another. A number of changes came about in different spheres of life during the 190 years of British colonial rule. 190 years, so approximately it is 200 years. Now let us take a short, what do you call, information. Let us gather some small informations about this particular changes which took place in our country during the colonial period, during this British rule. The first one, that's geographical changes. In 1757, the Indian subcontinent was divided into a number of kingdoms and provinces. Large provinces like Hyderabad, Bengal, Awadh accepted the nominal rule of the decaying Mughals. Okay, first let us read and then I'll come to the explanation. There were also some independent kingdoms such as those ruled by the Marathas, Rajputs, and Jats. Over the next 190 years, the British came to establish their direct rule over the large parts of India and maintain their strong indirect rule over all other local kingdoms, which came to be known as princely states. In 1947, when India became independent, it comprised over 565 princely states and the directly administered territories of Britain. All right, please underline that. In 1947, when India became independent, it comprised over 565 princely states and the directly administered territories of Britain. All right, now let us explain. Okay, so basically, there's the turning point. That's Battle of Plassey. Okay, with that, what happened? The Indian subcontinent was in during that days, during that period, the Indian subcontinent was divided into number of kingdoms. In fact, the present what do you call country, the map, the Indian map that we have. This is not the actual map of our country. Yes, presently you can say it, but this period that we're talking about, colonization, 1600, 1700, and all. This is not the map. This is not India. This is not Indian subcontinent. In fact. I have it, but how to show it to you now? All right, when offline classes will start, do remind me. Okay, I'll try to show it to you the actual map of India before independence, which is termed as Akhand Bharat. This Pakistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, all these were our part. It was ours. Okay, it was a huge one, our country. So during those days, 1757, our country was divided into number of kingdoms and provinces, and some of the provinces, okay, it was very large in area, big area, such as underline, which were the large provinces, Bengal, Hyderabad, Awadh. Since they were very huge, I mean very large in areas, okay, big territories. So what did they do? They accepted the Mughal rule and all, but they accepted very little of the Mughal rules. Why? Because gradually, slowly, gradually, the Mughal rule or the Mughal control was declining. It was going out. How? Because this Britishers, not Britishers, sorry, the East India Company. Yeah, you can say Britishers because they are from Britain only. These people, they were taking over. Okay, they were taking over the rule control from the Mughal Empire. Today with this rule, tomorrow they defeated this king. Today with this policy, tomorrow that. Likewise, gradually they were taking it over from the Mughal Empire. So as a result, this particular provinces, Hyderabad, Bengal, out. They accepted when the Mughal Empire was ruling. Okay, they had their rules. They accepted the Mughal rules, but however, it was very little nominal rule that they accepted. Along with these large provinces, there were also some independent kingdoms, okay, such as the kingdoms which was ruled by the Marathas, Rajputs, and Jats. They were independent kingdom, not under anyone's control. Independent. They are their own boss. Hmm? They don't come under any emperor, any dynasty. Okay. This we have read in I think in your class 5 6 something like that. This Mayuran dynasty, Mughal we are reading right now, right? So like that, these people, they did not come under any dynasty, and as this East India Company, or you can say the Britishers, they ruled for the next almost approximately 200 years or 190 years. Okay, they started controlling during this period of 190 years. They started directly ruling over many parts of India. Okay, and also they started strong indirect rule over other local kingdoms. All right, so there were many small local kingdoms which, like as I told you, this independent Marathas, Rajputs, Jats, they were not under any dynasty. This EIC, the East India Company, yeah, English East India Company, when as per this agreement, as per this farman which they had with this, what do you call, at first from Jahangir, next from Farooq Siyar, okay, the Mughal parts, the area which were under the Mughal dynasty, Mughal Empire, they were taking it over directly because they have this agreement, bond, or you can say treaty, yeah. But those independent kingdoms, those local kingdoms, which is not under any dynasty, any emperor, even to those areas, the Britishers started, controlling in a not direct manner, but in indirect manner. Maybe with the help of some other, kind of what do you call, merry-go-round. We say, jalebi round and round coming through that way, not going straight. And this, what do you call, the local kingdoms, the small kingdoms which were independent, which were not under any dynasty or any emperor, they were known as princely states. All right. And yeah, the last sentence, as I asked you to underline, by the time we got independent, that is in the year 947, we had almost 565 princely states, okay, which were indirectly under the British rule. And yes, for obvious, they directly controlled British territories as well, right? This is a geographical change. See, the whole map, 565 princely states, excluding those areas which are directly under the British rule. And after that, what do you call? Today, forget about the size of our country. Today, how many? 29 states. Pakistan is a separate country. Bangladesh is Myanmar, Bhutan. It's no more Akhand Bharat. It's just India, right? So geographical area change. So many things changes took place. Next, we have the political changes. Oh, yeah. One, two, three. Hopefully, we'll try to finish it up by next class. I'll keep it up to here. That's up to geographical changes, page 129. See, there is a map in page 129, map 1.1, okay, right inside. You see the British India, okay, the areas which were directly under the British rule, British India, those are marked in this, what do you call, orange color. And the yellowish color, that's princely states, which were not directly under the British rule, but however, some way or the other, through their policies and all, they tried to gain control. Hmm. You will have a good idea if you look at that picture. All right, we'll end up here. Remaining we'll do it in the next class. Please go through the text.